those closest to us are usually the easiest to read. But have you ever found deciphering a loved one's thoughts can actually be challenging at times? In day 3 of our series, Inside Their Brain, we dissect what's happening in a toddler's head. Dr. Joyce Sibbett from Dancing Moose Montessori School is here with information on that, and I am all ears with a 3-year-old on the ground. Don't you ever just stop to wonder? I do daily. What is she, like, what is going through that cute little mind of hers?
Yeah. Well, and you can't guess. You just need to know that there's a lot in there. There's a lot happening. At birth, 100 billion neurons. I mean, how do you conceptualize that? Almost all they'll have through their whole life.
Wow, so there's a science, a serious science behind what's happening. We might not understand that, but you say there are cues, nonverbal cues that parents can take away from the communication that is or is not happening. And one of your first tips to parents out there as we try to get into our 2-year-old or 3-year-old's heads is to really focus on repetition with these little brains. It's
so important to know that the first time you say something, it's kind of like a blurred vision. They can't see it. You layer on the next time you say it, it's a little more clear. It's layer after layer after layer after layer until your toddler finally hears it clearly. It's like finally your toddler sees that picture.
Does that apply to concepts like colors and alphabet, or does that apply to commands too? Like, is that why I'm telling Emmy to put her shoes on 4 times before we actually go and get the shoes?
Yes, it is. It's those commands, absolutely.
So have patience in those moments.
And patience, calm voice, calm but firm is what I always like to think of, and that came from Jane Nelson and Positive Discipline. Calm but firm.
Calm but firm, but appreciate and embrace the repetition that is required for them. I like that the blurry vision becomes clear each and every time you say it. You also want to point out that tantrums, those frustrating moments between parent and child, those occur when they really can't express themselves appropriately.
Yes. Sometimes those there are inner conflicts that we don't understand, that they don't make sense to us, but our child just flips their lid. And that, at that point, there's no reasoning. There is just this, but there is connection. It's okay to say, we'll talk when you feel better. You don't try to use the logic, you don't try to teach, you just wait until your child has had the tantrum and is calmed down.
Let it pass. Anything we can do, Joyce, before that lid flips, so to speak, to de-escalate what might be coming down the road?
If we can help our child have the words to express what the emotion is, it's so helpful. And so a great example of this is your child is frustrated, you're trying to comb hair in the morning, you want to get it in that pretty ponytail in the bow, and your child is just so angry and ready to just burst out. And so at that point, it's nice to say, I can see that you're angry. I can see that you don't want your hair combed. Let's go over to the mirror and let me show you how careful I'm trying to be as I comb your hair. And as soon as I finish, we're going to have a delicious breakfast. And so you finish combing, you put in the ponytail, and your child knows, okay, you heard me. It does hurt, and you're trying to be careful. And I can look forward to something after this is all done.
So help them name that emotion in the moment.
Yes.
Emmy's first nanny gave her a beautiful book. I think it was called Inside My Heart. And I'm always shocked because just last weekend she came up with, I'm frustrated is what she said. And I thought, I didn't even know that you knew that word, but inside the pages of this book, it goes through all those emotions and helps them kind of name and identify. And you believe there's real power in that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That way, if you say the words, then I know that I've been heard. And I learned to say the words so that I can communicate clearly to you.
And you just gave us a genius formula, I think, that I just want to emphasize. At least I'm absorbing it into my own brain. So you name the emotion, you validate the emotion, and then help them see a positive that's coming at the end of that. I appreciate that. You also want to advise parents to give your child some space for trial and error. And here's the catch, even when it's inconvenient, because it usually is.
Yeah, it's hard. I like the example of your child is trying to pour some orange juice, and it's all over the table.
Yes.
And that is just not convenient as you're trying to finish and get ready in the morning. But that's a nice time to say, oh, your orange juice spilled. Let's take it. We'll each take a cloth and clean it up. So you use that patience. But then when it's all over, you can take a time for some practical life lessons. We do them all the time at Dancing Moose. You take out water in a cup. Your child gets to pour the water into a cup, gets to practice and make some of the messes, but learn that skill. And you can use a smaller orange juice container so that to help your child succeed.
Minimize the damage, right, with the smaller
exactly.
quantity, but anticipating those. How can parents, Joyce, do a better job about communicating our expectations to those little brains?
Well, if we remember not to use the negatives, so we're calm but firm, we get away from stop, no, don't. Instead, we say that what we want our child to do.
The positive, the flip.
The positive, yes. And so instead of don't run across the aisle in the store, let's use our walking feet. Remember, we're talking softly right now. Let's talk softly so that we can turn on a fun music on the radio.
Got it, got it. So always state it in the positive.
Stay in the positive, yeah. And it's not easy. There are times when your child seems so unreasonable, but if we can remember that as the adult, we're calm but firm, we're helping our child with expression, and we're giving our child space to explore.
Do you think more often than not we underestimate our children and their ability, or do we overestimate what we expect from them?
Probably both. Our expectations may be overestimated, but our child's ability is amazing.
So meet that in the middle.
Meet in the middle.
Great advice, Joyce. Where can people connect with you?
mydancingmoose.com.
You do a great job. You're so good about helping us, too, bridge that communication with those who can't quite communicate yet. Thank you. We appreciate it.